is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Minnesota is experiencing one of the worst droughts in its history. A new drought monitor was issued this morning, and it shows much of North Dakota at extreme drought levels. In Minnesota, a step more severe at exceptional drought levels. This is the first time that level has ever been reached since analysis began back in 1999. Here with more is Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch.
Stacy, thanks so much. Good afternoon, everyone. As we head into the the end of our summer season, that exceptional drought is expanding to more of our area. Let's take a look at just how dry we've actually been. In Fargo, for the season, we're almost 4 inches below average for this time of the year. In Grand Forks, we're about the same, 3¼ inches below average. But those year-to-date totals that really stand out, almost 8.3 inches below average in Fargo. That's very dry. And as we take a look at where the drought monitor was last week, notice the area of red. This is the category that's called extreme drought. It's already bad, but with the lack of rain in this particular area here, you can watch it whoop, and now we definitely have areas of concern. This is Thief River Falls. It's Crookston. You haven't had any rain from some of you that have reported in Crookston for the better part of the summer. And look how close Fargo is now. We are almost in that extreme category as well. Cool and dry air spilling in tonight. Your forecast does look cooler, at least, not as sizzling hot. Look at the 50s. Up there in portions of Canada. We'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect with this cool pool of air, how long it sticks around, and we will look ahead toward that next chance of rain in a moment.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. The leader of the Army Corps of Engineers was in the Metro this morning reviewing work on the FM diversion. The Lieutenant General and Commanding General, along with North Dakota Senator John Hoeven, spent the morning looking over the 30-mile diversion. The goal is to reduce the flood risk to the more than 200,000 people in the Metro. Senator Hoeven explains how this project could help you financially.
But you make sure that our citizens don't have to buy that flood insurance year in and year out for many years, and of course that's expensive.
Construction on the diversion channel will begin next spring. An 18-year-old Moorhead man is in the Clay County Jail accused of intentionally killing a woman in a head-on crash in Watertown, South Dakota 2 years ago. Investigators say he crossed the center line on a highway on purpose, hitting a car driven by 43-year-old Dawn Meyer, who was on her way to work. A crash reconstruction investigation showed Stevenson was traveling at more than 100 miles an hour, attempting to take his own life. While Meyer died, Stevenson didn't. He was arrested Tuesday in Moorhead. 2 buildings, a vehicle, and a power pole are destroyed after a grass fire near Fertile, Minnesota. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says it started around 5 yesterday evening outside a home just outside of town. The cause is still under investigation. A Lutheran church in Nimrod is praying they get their items back after someone broke into their building. The Wadena County Sheriff's Department says it learned of the burglary and vandalism this past Saturday. There was no signs of forced entry, but the church is missing several items. If you have any information on the burglary, you can remain anonymous, and you're urged to call police. Dilworth police say lock your vehicles and garages. They're seeing an increase in reports of vehicle break-ins and vehicle thefts. In addition to locking your doors, they say if you see anything suspicious in your neighborhood, please report it right away. Minnesota State University Moorhead is the latest school in our area to require masks on campus. The school says starting Monday, all students, faculty, staff, and visitors will be required to wear a mask in any indoor settings until further notice. The school says they will reevaluate when Clay County is in the low or moderate transmission level for 14 days in a row. Some Americans will soon be asked to get a third COVID-19 booster shot. This comes as the Delta variant continues to spread in many areas of the country, sending hospitalizations up and fueling concerns about kids returning to school. Skylar Henry has details from the White House.
CBS News has confirmed the FDA will authorize a COVID-19 booster shot for people with compromised immune systems.
An additional dose could help increase protection for these individuals, which is especially important as the Delta variant spreads.
Health officials are struggling to get many Americans to get their first vaccine dose, and the large number of unvaccinated Americans is responsible for spreading the Delta variant, with an average of 113,000 new COVID cases per day, a more than 400% increase in the last month.
Unvaccinated folks are being hospitalized and dying as a result of not being vaccinated.
The Biden administration continues to institute vaccine mandates for many federal workers.
All 350,000 VA healthcare personnel and all 25,000 HHS healthcare personnel must now be fully vaccinated.
California announced school teachers and staff will be required to be vaccinated or be tested weekly for COVID-19.
It's the right thing to do, to keep our most precious resource healthy and safe, our children.
Meanwhile, Fort Worth, Texas is the latest school district to require masks in school, in spite of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's statewide ban on mask mandates.
To the mayors, school superintendents, educators, local leaders who are standing up to the governor's politicizing mask protection for our kids, thank you.
Texas is one of 7 states that have issued a ban on mask and vaccine mandates. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Governor orders barring masks and vaccine mandates are facing legal challenges as a Dallas County judge issued a temporary restraining order against Texas's order this week. More than 70% of Minnesotans 16 and older have gotten at least 1 dose of a COVID vaccine. That's the latest today from Governor Walz. Health officials say they've administered more than 6 million doses total in the state. According to the governor's office, the number of first doses administered per week is up 129% from a month ago. For years, fans of the 1989 baseball film Field of Dreams have found their way to the place it was shot in Iowa. Today, that big screen dream is becoming a big league reality when the Yankees and the White Sox face off on a field constructed right next to the movie set in custom throwback uniforms. Mola Langhi has this story.
It only took 32 years, but Major League Baseball has finally come to Iowa, inspired by the 1989 movie Field of Dreams, starring Kevin Costner as an Iowa farmer who builds a ball field in his cornfield. Tonight in Dyersville, Iowa, the movie will come to life on a new field right next to the movie set.
It is special, and I gotta say, I don't say too often, you're missing it a little bit. This is pretty neat here.
Unbelievable. It's more than that. It's perfect.
In right field, there's a gate where the players will actually enter the field and they'll be coming out of the corn. A lot like it was in the movie.
The movie, so popular among fans, it's now part of baseball lore, uses the game to tell a story about fathers and sons and repairing the past.
And I read this little movie on my couch and it just felt like it had gold dust all over it.
They have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines where they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they watched the game.
When Larry Bailey heard they were hiring fans to work the game, he and his wife drove 500 miles from Kentucky.
I'm a baseball nut.
The guy is like a kid again.
Baseball makes you feel like you're 12, whether you're 7 or 70. When I stepped from the grass onto the dirt, I felt something a little bit magical happen.
A big kid on a ball field, in a cornfield, living a dream.
Is this heaven?
It's Iowa.
About 8,000 fans are expected to attend tonight's game. Many Iowans who will see their first Major League Baseball game ever played here in the state of Iowa. And MLB tells me this may not be the last game on that Field of Dreams. Mola Langhi, CBS News, Dyersville, Iowa.
Major League Baseball had to haul in 4,000 tons of sand and 2,000 tons of gravel to build that Major League ballpark. Coming up on Valley News Live at 4, many students woke up to this morning in Michigan. Major flooding causing some major damage. More on that next.
A few clouds dashing through our sky last night, but it looks very clear tonight for more viewing of the Perseid meteor shower. Speaking of that meteor shower, we pointed our camera in Grand Forks straight up. Here's a time lapse of that. Your hour-by-hour forecast is coming up. Join us. Weather's next.